Hello, I'm Stigmata Bob, and in this chapter I'm going to talk about how to communicate with your spirit guides. Well, why would anybody want to do that? It's spooky. Well, it turns out that many of us are communicating and not realizing that we're communicating with our spirit guides. But I have found in my life it to be an absolutely incredible thing. And I became connected to the spirit world because I've been at death's door 6 times. And that's not what I'm going to suggest to you. It is not the best way. There is a better way. And I'm going to describe the way that she taught me, the way that I've worked with her, the way that I've learned, and see if you can do it too. Now, on your subordinate guides, there's typically one of the subordinate guides that we call number 1. If you talk to a lot of mediums and things like that, they're often referred to number 1. And I am connected very closely and communicate with my number 1 spirit guide all the time. And I've trusted him with my life many times. And I'm just going to give you Communicating with Spirit Guides 101. At some point we might be able to give you an advanced level, but for now it's going to be Communicating with Your Guides 101. The way I started doing this, or the way that I was told to do this, is subordinate guides, when they communicate not in words because they're not angelic yet. They communicate with pictures and feelings. Pictures and feelings. That's how your guides communicate. So what you do is you find a place that's quiet, where nobody's going to bother you and interrupt you. There's no noises and distractions. You sit quietly in this place, and you close your eyes. The reason you close your eyes is to block out all of the distractions. If your eyes are open, you're going to be thinking about things and distracted. Close your eyes, and then you ask your number 1 guide, and you say these words. If these exact words work for you, good. If they, try something else if you'd like. But what I have used, and I have taught many people to use, is just sit there and say, I'd like to speak to my number 1 guide. I'd like to communicate. Would you please send me a feeling? And I'd like this feeling to be a needle prick. And then what you do is you just sit there quietly, and you just pay extremely close attention and see if you don't feel a needle prick. And when you do, say, okay, I got that one. It was right here. Send me another one. And then you sit there quietly. And pretty soon, you get another one. Oh yeah, that was right over here in this ear. What you're doing, you're sending back to your spirit guide information that you're getting the message that they are sending you, the feeling. And you be specific about what the feeling was that you got. This gives that spirit guide an opportunity to get feedback from you and realize that you're getting it. They can tune into like a radio frequency. Many mediums will tell you that sometimes they can communicate with guides really easily with some people, other people not. It's because there's a difference in frequency. So when you're communicating with your number 1 guide, you're giving feedback. That feedback gives them the opportunity to tune their radio frequency. They can actually make small adjustments to see that you're getting it. So you tell them, send me a picture. And you still have your eyes closed, and suddenly a picture will come into your mind. And what you do is you describe that picture. And you say, well, I'm seeing a house, and there's a fence, And that's about it. Now your guide has gotten that he or she can send you feelings and can send you pictures. So you tell them, all right, send me another picture. So they send you another picture. They send you a picture of a car. So what you do is you describe the car. Well, it's green, and it has 2 doors, and you describe it. And each time you get a picture from your guide, describe it more and more in detail. If it's a house, you tell them what kind of windows, how many panes, is there a fence in front, what does the fence look like, what are the colors, how many plants. Keep describing back the picture that you've gotten in more and more sharper detail. And your guide will know that you're getting it. So now you're getting pictures and you're getting feelings. And that opens up a line of communication with that guide that is incredible. Then what you do is you start listening very closely to the messages that they're sending you through these pictures and feelings. And you can be in a room and sometimes sit there and you can mentally think something and send a message mentally to your guide and say, send me a smell. And you'll suddenly get the smell of something like cigar smoke. And ask people next to you, do you smell cigar smoke? And they'll say, oh no, we don't smell that. It's because your guide has the ability to send a feeling to you. And other people are not going to get it. He's sending it to you. So you'll get the sensation of smelling smoke. These are the things that the guides can do. And it takes only paying attention to these things. So when you do get a strange smell, you do get a picture in your mind, you know that it's either coming from your own imagination, which it could be, or is it coming from your spirit guides? And with practice, you get to know the difference. And they start trying to guide you. And if you follow what they're telling you and guiding you, it brings you on the most incredible journey. And that is why I suggest listen to your guides. Now some people say it's God. Well, that's okay. If that's what you feel it is and that works for you, fine. But give it a try and see where it takes you, because sometimes you meet people and the most amazing things can happen from it. And it sends you on journeys to incredible places. Often it happens that you'll hear somebody say, oh, you've got to learn to be a dentist. When in fact, maybe their spirit journey is to learn how to play the violin. So no matter how much effort you put into trying to teach that person to be a dentist, they will never be on their spirit journey. The only one who knows their spirit journey is their senior guide. And unless the senior guide has told you what their journey is, you're not going to know what it is. And it's very rare. In fact, I don't know if it's ever happened to me that a spirit guide would tell me what the journey is, my journey or anyone else's. Although, there has been a couple of instances where I have had a senior guide step in and tell me to stop because I was teaching somebody too much about things that they were not ready for. And typically, if a senior guide does it, maybe that's a signal. But typically, if a senior guide does not want you to proceed, they will send you a picture directly into your mind. It's usually 2 hands up, and they mean stop, do not proceed. If a senior guide ever does that, don't proceed. Stop immediately. And that would be if you're teaching someone or telling somebody that is taking them in the wrong direction. Recognize that that senior guide may have many generations of work into this particular spirit that he's or she has been trying to get evolved. And if you go and threaten to mess that up with some dumb thing, of course the senior guide is not going to be happy about that. So that's happened to me a couple of times, that senior guides have intervened and told me to stop, and I stop immediately. I do not second guess senior guides. Never have I done that. So anytime somebody tells you, oh, you should do this, or you should be that, or whatever, unless they have some direct connection with your senior guide, I suggest that you listen to your inner voice as to what you should be doing with your life.